Well, I never thought it would end like this. Just because I got no tits, I'll shave my legs, I'll wear a bra. Even cut my penis up for you.
Aw, that's so sweet.
She has a girlfriend now.
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 Thank God that nigga seen another day. ALEW. Got a chopper and a bottle, fucking let 'em straight.
Alex KANE, MLW World Champion, and you called that. You called that. 100%.
I did.
He's my boy and all, but I kind of had doubt, and I brought up the fact that happened the same night as Punk and Joe, and I brought up the fact that the Alexander Hammerstone KANE match was a much better match, and a lot of people's retort on that was, well, did it have a big match feel like Punk and Joe did?
Yes.
First off, Punk and Joe ended with a roll-up. Just saying. And then the good old AEW special post-match beatdown. KANE and Hammerstone, that was did you watch it live by chance or no?
Yes, I think I was off by 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because like once that was over with, I jumped over to Fight Plus. Fuck Fight TV, by the way. I jumped over to Fight Plus and like was able to like fast forward it to the beginning of the match so I could see the whole thing all the way through. And it was the superior product of the night.
Like Alexander Kane's entrance, first off. I can't really find a lot of video for it to play. That's why I'm just playing that TikTok over. Yeah. That entrance, like I'm getting goosebumps just talking about that, like for real. Like, I don't know, I guess
I think I can see it. Little arm hairs. Got the goosebumps. I should have brought my goosebumps hat. Wait, I can't hear you. You've gone completely.
Yeah, I muted myself. I was trying to show you my goosebumps and I accidentally muted myself. But like Hammerstone, that's how excited I was. I mean, but Hammerstone going to the ring, you still felt through, like I watched it after the fact, probably 2 hours after. I knew by that morning. But just like you felt it. Like there is nobody could say that there was not a big fight feel, and the fact that he's the bad guy, he's the heel, and like the amount of love and support that came out.
Everyone wanted him to win. There was not a damn person wanting Hammerstone to win. Hammerstone's good at what he does, but the people had made their decision. It was a partisan crowd. It was like a mini version of like Money in the Bank 2011, where everyone was there for Punk and no one was there for Cena. Everyone was there for Alex KANE and Alex KANE only.
I honestly believe that because KANE still has to pull the trigger on becoming a full-on good guy, but the Alexander Hammerstone, if he would have won that match, it would have been like WrestleMania when Roman won, like how all the air just left that building.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the same thing would have happened. Now you know a little bit more about it than I do. I'm usually about 2 weeks behind on Fusion. What do you think is next? Do you think Hammerstone's going to try to get his title? Do you think they just gave it KANE to KANE to please the people? Do you think they gave it to KANE to maybe facilitate a face turn? Because if you know the guy, you know like it's genuinely a good guy anyway.
Yeah. There will be I do smell a face turn.
So is Hammerstone going to go heel, or is Hammerstone done?
See, you know what? Because I'm like, was this Hammerstone leaving? Is he going to go to like another company? Because I feel like he would be a good fit in like Impact. But
Oh
I feel like
yeah.
he ran his course there. The fans, how can I put it? He did play up acting heel-ish in that match.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah. I think
definitely
they
he
felt
played the
it.
part right.
I think they felt like the energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? The energy. Like even the Kane beatdowns on Hammerstone leading up to it. Um, I think everybody kind of felt like where this was going, that Hammerstone was not going to be the good guy walking into that ring. Um,
It would be too much like Roman, like if he continued being babyface or whatever, good guy in that match. You know, it wasn't heel. Like I said, it wasn't heel. It was heel-ish. Like he did the whole thing like he was soaking in the angry energy and getting pissed off. I'm like, they did that so well. Like they should have learned from that back when Roman Reigns was, you know, when we couldn't stand him.
now,
Uh,
I'm comparing Hammerstone's run that he just had. Amazing run. Don't get me wrong. Right after, I think I'm hoping Alex Kane gets what Jacob Fatu had, then Hammerstone had, because
a
like
long run.
two amazing, like that rarely happens where you have two like back to back. You know, usually it's like a good one, a couple of dilly dally ones, and then another good one. But it was like two, and I'm hoping maybe MLW, which in my opinion is the only professional wrestling company in business right now. I'm hoping they do the same thing with Kane, but do you almost compare Hammerstone to Drew McIntyre? How Drew McIntyre carried the company through COVID, but as COVID kind of started ending and they started being able to do more, all of a sudden Drew McIntyre was thrown on the back burner. And that's what it almost seemed like with Hammerstone, because even if you look at Fusion, just watch Fusion, uh Hammerstone not on there as much as a lot of the other guys. It was almost like the open weight title, or no, what, the national open weight title, right? Like
That
that was,
became
yeah, like that
the big
became the
one.
primary title. And if it wasn't for Alex Kane going for the belt the way he did, I don't think the world title and his win would be. I think Alex Kane like made the whole scenario. Like he like
It made us care
organically.
again.
Yes, like he did it all on his own.
Because it could turn into one of those things where I'm like, Hammerstone kind of felt like he was going to keep being the MLW champion. I'm like, all right, can we wrap this up? Could somebody else get in there? And Alex Kane came in with that, or like organically got everyone behind him. And I'm happy that was true, because at first I was like, is it just because we're all mutuals with him on TikTok? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's a real thing. And people love Alex Kane and made us care for the world championship. Like, Jesus, the explosion in everyone's pants when he won.
What's up, Tommy?
Hi!
He finds us
Yeah,
every time.
every
No
time.
matter every time. We don't advertise or anything, and he finds
We have a scent and he smells it. It's like Salisbury steak and love.
what I think is awesome is, all right, so there's this girl I work with that tries her hardest, you know, as a manager, like you have employees that like try to like make chit chat with you. So her big thing is wrestling to make chit chat with us. And thank you very much. Or no, you're probably talking about him, I'm betting.
Yeah, that or Salisbury steak.
Yeah. Um, but so she tries to make chit chat with me. She comes in Monday morning. I know the match happened Saturday night. She comes in Monday morning to work and she goes, there's this guy I kind of watch. I don't know if you watched it or not, but Alex Kane won a world title for some. I said, Alex, fuck it. Like
Hell
I
yeah.
screamed. I screamed, an old man that he shops in the store every day, so it wasn't a big deal. But he looked at me, he goes, "You get excited about stuff?" I was like, when somebody just randomly brings up Alex Kane, yes, I get pretty excited. And she goes, well, I didn't know. She goes, I just see his stuff from time to time. And it's probably because she's friends with me.
Mm,
And she tries to, like, look at wrestling stuff to have chit chat with me. His stuff
yeah.
probably comes up
Get
on
to
hers.
know you a little there.
But
I
like
got some coworkers like that.
just the fact that like that was the first thing I heard on a Monday morning was,
Woo!
this guy, Alex Kane, he won the MLW world title, if you know what that company is. And flipped out. But before we move on to what the show is actually supposed to be about, I'm gonna play that intro, not our intro to the show, but how I started our show today. One more time, because Alex Kane not only becoming MLW World Champion, but if more people would choke people out the way Alex Kane did, we would have a lot less murders, a lot less lawsuits. He 100%. Okay. Mind you, when I got my belt in jiu-jitsu, this was before jiu-jitsu was a big thing. I'm probably a belt or two down from where I'm actually at. I understand that. But the technique on this choke is perfect. Point of elbow lined up with point of chin, straight up, blocking the blood flow, not air, blocking the blood flow to the man. And then at the end, the pro wrestling twist on it, where it makes it look like he's literally trying to rip his head off, but still keeping it there so he's not hurting anybody. That's how you would in a fight. That's what you would
Yeah.
really do. That is
The tap
perfect
out that
technique.
Hammerstone did to that was like a real like MMA tap
Yeah,
out. Like he just barely.
you got me. I'm not getting out of that. I'm not, like
Both both
that
guys
it's
did a
that
great
tap to
job.
give. Yeah.
I wish my wife choked me the way Alex Kane choked.
I know I've been working with mine for 7 years on it and still nothing. But one more time.
Allez, Boombaye. Thank God that niggas seen another day. Allez, Boombaye. Allez, Boombaye. Got a chopper and a bottle. Fucking let him spray.
All right. So this is the off week. We had to talk about Alex Kane. So we're starting the show 12 minutes in here, guys. But that win was so big that we couldn't only talk about old school wrestling today. We needed to bring that up. Also because we're trying to get him to come on. I think he's staying away from us because he knows it's not going to be a Q&A. It's going to be more of a hey, why does your hair look like that, dude? Like
I'm
type
gonna be
thing.
asking shit like, "What are you doing here with all that ass?"
Yeah. So maybe that's why he's staying away. I did throw out to him, like he doesn't have to actually come on live with us if he doesn't want to. He could do a pre-recorded skit. I got ideas for him. Threw that out there to him.
30 seconds of looking pissed off at us. That's all we need.
Yeah, he could, we could do it not live, which I don't really consider this live, even though we're live on
Nope.
Twitch right now, but only one person ever finds us.
Are you still watching us, Thorny?
It looks like he is.
Talk to Daddy. Talk to me.
But he's probably working at strip club. He probably had to like switch. I was about to say tapes. I don't think DJs use tapes. DJs never used tapes, did they? They always used albums or CDs, didn't they?
Yeah. Spearmint Rhino.
But he we offered it to him. He did put out there though that he got several requests. So we understand. I mean, hell, he just became world champion of what I've been saying for a while. Since I found MLW Fusion right before COVID hit, which I'm so grateful for. So grateful for. The only professional wrestling company that exists right now, in my opinion. In my opinion, the only true professional wrestling company. Where they actually integrate their foreign talent into something rational, whatever. But that is what it is. But today, I threw this out there to you. So World Championship Wreckage. You need to check out that YouTube page. Almost at 100 followers. And if you comment Ric Flair on any video, once we hit 100, you could have a chance to win this. Ric Flair with the 4 Horsemen shirt on there.
I have that one.
But I told you that I was making a video on the Booty Man for it. And you were like, the Booty Man and his amazing bulge, which I wasn't able to find. Even though that's the image you hold dear into your heart. And I told him, I was like, man, I thought it was weird that the Booty Man infiltrated the Dungeon of Doom, and like the Dungeon of Doom wasn't smart enough to do it. And then you brought up the fact that, like, so basically Hogan and the Booty Man were trying to tear down a group that was doing their best to end racism as we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Dungeon of Doom was anti-racist. They were an anti-racist group. They're like, oh, we're evil. We're trying to end Hulkamania. No, you're trying to end racism.
You know what? That phone call makes a lot more sense now. The Hulk Hogan tapes. Kevin Sullivan knew something. Kevin Sullivan knew something. So the way we got into this, all right, so Brutus the Barber Beefcake, or no, he went by the Butcher at this point, became friends with Kevin Sullivan. And then Kevin Sullivan beat him up. So then he became the Man with No Name.
Big dick energy.
Shortly after becoming the Man with No Name, he became the Man with No Face. And look how confused Kevin Sullivan is that he's fighting him at a pay-per-view.
You're like, no face?
Look at it.
Why am I wrestling a man with no face?
Yeah. Straight up confusion. So after Sullivan beats him up, so like I said, the Dungeon of Doom was an all-inclusive group doing their best to end racism, possibly fascism. I don't know. But doing their best. They even brought in like a token fascism guy, you know, kind of in the middle to show that, like, hey, we're not 100% against fascists. We're more against the racists. But, you know, like every good group, they messed up a little bit with one of their names of one of their things. And that was the guy we know as, what was it? Supreme Solution, Ultimate Solution, right?
Ultimate Solution.
Yeah. So messed up a little bit with that name, right?
We all fuck up at some point.
We get to see here that I didn't have loaded up already because I am not the smartest man in the world. The Zodiac joining the
Are you a warrior that knows neither pain or pleasure?
I think this was the most King Curtis talk in this whole thing.
I
want to put lotion on him so bad.
The biggest key of all.
He's sneezing his cocaine.
Is it because the water's not hot? Is what causes the skin to do that?
You just need to moisturize, or...
And here we go. Oh, yeah. And there we go.
The legend, the Zodiac.
So does he?
I did not realize that was Brutus for years.
So does, like, the yes, no, is that him? Like, does he repeat you? Oh, I thought he was doing a mannequin thing there for a second.
No! He is too valuable of a warrior because, Taskmaster, this is the brother of goodness himself.
He's a valuable warrior.
Yeah, just look at the fringe,
Oh, yeah. He's the man from the land of Yin Yang. I just got that. The man from the land of Yin Yang, and that's where the yes, no.
That's why.
Yes, no. I got it. Okay. King Curtis.
That was
I
deep.
think that was the one that King Curtis actually talked the very most of.
Yeah, hard
But
time remembering him saying anything.
now, do you find it crazy that, well, let's call him just Brutus Beefcake. Brutus Beefcake, as the
Brutus.
Zodiac, did not get to main event a Starcade, but yet somehow the Butcher did.
Hmm.
Does that blow your mind?
How can I put it? That's terrible. That is such, because you go back and you're like all these great main events in Stargate history, and you're like, oh, by the way, and then here's one where the Butcher main event. I remember like hearing that, like, because I watched it, but I think I took it out of my memory. I think I purposely hit myself over the head with a baseball bat to erase that from my mind, and then years later, like, oh yeah, the Butcher, like who?
You know,
We allow this?
technically the main event was like the one man gang versus somebody, because after that match happened, they had like another match for like the US title that like only people there in the arena saw.
Oh,
So technically, if you want to feel good about yourself, that was the main event.
oh, thank you, baby Jesus.
Yeah. But it is bad that, because I believe the Zodiac is what made Hugh Morris start the whole laughing thing. Now watch this video. He just saw his face, was like, oh God, I'm gonna laugh now. Just the sight of him. And then
Great
Zodiac,
reactions.
yes.
He
But a
seems
lot of
like such a
people,
happy person.
now I did my best to find out what you meant about the Dungeon of Doom being a group that fought racism. So I pulled up a couple pictures here, and I have no idea who that guy is all the way on the right.
Sweet Jesus, that's a person.
It is. I thought that was a statue this entire time. So that might have been Kamala's handler, maybe?
Could have been Z Gangster.
Ooh, I don't know, because it looks like he's wearing a dashiki.
Ah,
And I don't think the gangsta would wear that.
big gangster. Zeus
Oh, here,
King.
so here, if you look at this, it's like, okay, really fighting racism. Okay, guys, this is a stretch. All right. Well, all right. Let's go to Exhibit B. And yes, once again, but did you remember that the Giant and Lex Luger were in the Dungeon of Doom? And
I
also,
mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I forgot they were both Caucasian
Yes.
because
The,
I don't see race.
they also prove the fact that the Dungeon of Doom was an all-inclusive group. They take men that are so tall that they can't sleep on a bed properly, they can't use a toilet properly. Like,
Yep.
giants are weirdos, they're freaks. And
God damn it.
and the same thing about the total package Lex Luger. When you have a man that has 0.76 body fat, that too is a freakish thing that keeps people away, pushes people away.
Not a hint of
And
cellulite
the
on that body.
Taskmaster made sure that they felt included in something, and they gave them a purpose. We're going to end racism in Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Now, here's
Oh,
the
there's the
slip up
gangster.
they had with the Ultimate Solution, which I believe they changed the name pretty quickly to just Fat Guy or something like that.
They have the wall.
Yeah. And then the Gangsta, which we all knew was Zeus. I don't know why didn't they just call him Debo?
Right?
Don't you
You
think that would have worked?
Ice Cube was not going to sue you. On a side note, Kevin Sullivan is also in that inclusive world since he's only 4'6".
Yeah, that's true. And then in the background there, you got the Barbarian and Arn Anderson. Now, Arn Anderson wasn't part of the Dungeon of Doom, but Kevin Sullivan, being a wise man, trying his best to fight racism, and other prejudices, would constantly speak with the Four Horsemen. Arn Anderson was their spokesman at the time about the philandering of women, the exploitation that the Horsemen would have on women. And if you notice, it really started to settle down quite a bit when the Dungeon of Doom started because of the Taskmaster's efforts and the talks that he had with Arn Anderson and other members of the Four Horsemen.
Well, the moment that Kevin Sullivan enters the picture, nobody's having sex. Furthest thing from your mind. Well, except for Vader. Vader's fucking everything.
Oh, that's a okay. Never mind. I just pulled this up because I was like, look, they include elephants. That's Vader. Okay.
Yeah, you had every race and elephants. And the Irish, who are not considered
Yes.
human.
Yes. Well, he was an evil leprechaun that had to be controlled constantly. And he was around. The best part about this is like he didn't even come out until after the NWO was a thing. That's the best part about him. And then Conan.
And Conan.
Yes. So now we have a little bit of the Latin flavor.
Viva la raza.
He was doing his best to be involved in all communities if possible. And you know, Conan at one time was one of the biggest Mexican superstars there was. So Kevin Sullivan made sure to bring him in because he knew with Conan he would have a bigger reach into the Latino community as well.
Yeah, he headlined. Oh shit, One Man Gang.
And then we got the old school gangsters because you got to get the bikers on board if you're gonna fight racism. Because we all know bikers have never been racist ever. They have been
Never. Ultramont did not happen.
People ever. But just to stay safe, the Taskmaster brought in the One Man Gang. Now for you, good fit for the Dungeon of Doom.
It's perfect because they're fighting racism and they got Akeem to help them out.
Yeah.
No better than get yourself an African.
Possibly they talked him out of doing blackface. And that's why he stayed the One Man Gang once joining.
And you don't do that stupid dance.
Yeah. Like Kevin Sullivan showed him the error of his ways. Like, dude, you're stealing from a culture. You're misappropriating another's culture.
Eminem.
Stop it. Stay true to your non-racist biker roots.
And then they bit his toes.
Then Kamala, which this is a picture I took of him when I took my shoes off. And now we touched on him earlier, but what are your thoughts on Kamala in the early 90s?
Kamala was an inspiration to fat men everywhere. Granted, though, some people may view his character as racist. To me, it was an inspiration as a chubby man. Because to this day, I still lift up my shirt and I go, that is what my belly legitimately sounds like.
That's
so God bless you, Kamala.
I did that at the water park today. And I didn't think about the fact that that's why that's in my head to always do that when I walk around.
Any human that does that, you're copying Kamala. Kamala passed that down into our collective brains, and we thank you, Kamala, for doing so.
Now, this is one thing too. Kevin Sullivan, fight the power. Every week on Nitro for a while, he would come out with different members of the Dungeon of Doom and just like come out and speak against racism. He actually got a girlfriend, Jackie, right there. And then he has two island boys behind him, the Barbarian and Haku, to make sure that if you're going to be racist, they're going to beat the shit out of you if you're going to be racist.
We're going to beat the racism out of you, Hitler.
And if you think about it, at least in my opinion, I believe the Faces of Fear were the most successful part of the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah. They whooped ass. Oh, wait. But what about the legend?
Yes.
Yatai.
So the all-inclusive group not only brings in leprechauns, giants, men with no fat on their body, the Caucasian leader dating an African American woman,
Mm,
bringing in
Asian.
islanders as enforcers, speaking to groups that used to exploit women and get them to stop. Not only were they able to achieve all of this, get motorcycle gangs to no longer be racist,
They did the impossible.
they achieved the impossible and brought in a mythical creature that is no longer mythical because we've seen him, and that is the Yeti.
They got high.
Now, a lot of people said he's wrapped up like a mummy, right? Personally, you have okay, so the Yeti is big in Asia, correct? Not here
Yeah.
in America, not in North America, South America. So he
In
has
the
to be,
Himalayas.
yes. So he has to be flown a great distance to get to, I believe this was in San Francisco. Yeah, it was at the Cow Palace because the giant died this
Hmm.
night.
That night died.
So he had to be flown a great distance. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were to pack up a mythical creature, I would have him wrapped up very tightly to make sure he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get damaged or broke along the way. So this was just a Yeti waking up, not realizing that he has wrappings all around him for just to keep him safe, and was just so excited to go out and hump somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He just came out like that.
And he ran out there, and him, the giant, just gingerly humped Hulk Hogan into submission. They dry humped him with with such enthusiasm and cheerfulness. Just gingerly thrusted onto Hulk Hogan, trying to assault the racism out of his body.
And the sad part is, Hulk Hogan, using the Zodiac as an undercover agent, took down the Dungeon of Doom, stopped all the Dungeon of Doom's progress into fighting racism, sexism, fascism, midgetism, all types of isms, the schism, even
Fatisms,
fatisms, autism,
the schism,
you name it.
the Tool song Schism.
Yes, they fought it all. But then Hogan and his undercover agent broke it all.
Destroyed him
did it
from the inside.
just to become a booty man.
The booty man. Like you ended a group that was against all these horrible things, and to keep racism going, and what, you're gonna go out and parade around and show off your bulge, not just your sweet cheeks, but also your bulge, gyrating out there like some male hussy. Look at that shit. Not a hint of body hair on him whatsoever. Makes me sick.
Yeah. And then it also accentuated sexism, that the Dungeon of Doom
Right.
did their best to stop the exploitation of women. And now we got the booty man out there doing it, forcing another man's wife to smack him on the ass and everything else.
Kimberly Page was smacking his ass. He was nailing everything that couldn't be nailed down. Like, he had sex with so many beanbag chairs. And then afterwards, the Four Horsemen, they went on to just keep having sex with everything in sight. Women, dogs, easy
Alfalfa
bake oven. You what?
Alfalfa sprouts.
They fucked alfalfa sprouts. The bastards fucked alfalfa sprouts. Is there a God left in this world?
And with
Bitches.
that was the off week this week. Now, this was not a Dungeon of Doom episode. This was just showing you what the Zodiac going undercover ruined. Just ruined. Not for pro wrestling, but for the world as a whole. the Gout Foundation are the only people that's going to give it to you real and give it to you straight. And we let you know that racism could have been 100% over. So many killings done with. Possibly be living in a utopia right now if the Dungeon of Doom was able to succeed in all of their plans.
We could have had flying cars. We could have had flying cars.
Those are helicopters.
America.
But with that, since I didn't introduce us because I was so excited about Alex KANE, I've been your boy Jay, and this
is the Doja Cat of Wrestle Chalk, the best scout machine.
And we together are the Gout Foundation. We will see you next time. And hopefully, all of you guys will be out there praising this man as much as you can.
Thank God that nigga seen another day. ALEW, got a chopper